Hey everyone, Clara here. Today we're going to be doing something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Draw a lineup of the comic cast for my graphic novel. If you haven't met me, I go by Clara on here, and I do character illustrations and artsy things. And I'm in the process of preparing for the launch of my first graphic novel at the end of the year. You have seen their individual concept drawings as I practiced their looks and fleshed out how I envisioned them in my head. And I think at this point I am fairly confident with the results, and I know as I continue to draw them, they'll only get more refined and awesome looking from there. I have been wanting to do a lineup just to see them all in contrast to each other, their colors, heights, and a hint of personalities side by side. And as a great visually fun reference for you guys to see. I will be using this as a nice splash for the website I am building for the base for the comic. This website will host the pages of the comic, the character bios, and world lore, and any other information and link that would be needed there. The name for the comic has already been chosen, but with how the internet works, I am making sure I have all of my eggs in that basket before I announce it. Name announcement will be mid-year. This video will cover going over the main cast for the first section of the story. A world lore video will be later when I convince myself to want to draw landscapes. So, without further ado, we start with the far right. This character's name is Solus, and he hails from the Empire Brule, one of the three nations trapped within the Stillwall. Solus is the brother to the Emperor Brule, Arcturus. Ever since their arrival hundreds of years ago, they conquered Brule and have used its power and military might in attempts to take over and control the other two nations, Tor'glen and Zelvia. Emperor Arcturus has been unsuccessful, as the powerful mage army of Tor'glen and the clever use of tactics from the nation of Zelvia have kept Brule at a stalemate. Solus is known as the Undying Prince, the One-Armed Swordsman, and Brule's Butcher, taking on every mission the Emperor gives him in the name of the Empire. He is a swordsman and wields the power of light magic. His left arm, bound in leather, is rendered unusable. Next, second from the right, is Gerenius Della Costa. Born an orphan to the low streets of Tor'glen, he lived hand to mouth with the other misplaced children of the burrows. Raised to steal and eavesdrop, he became very proficient at it. As he grew up, he used these skills to become an information specialist. Both highborn and lowborn visit him alike, buying and selling information for the right price so it can be sold or bargained to the next highest bidder. In the bottom center, we have Azera. A strange woman with violet eyes, she travels town to town in search of her family that she lost during a still storm. Skilled in the art of alchemy and avid trader of old world relics, she opens a shop in Tor'glen to settle for the next decade or so in hopes of finding a much-needed lead. Second from the left, Lord Horace Dalton. Eldest son of the Dalton estate and heir to the title, he lost it all when he fell down an undiscovered elevator shaft within his estate at a young age. Shattering his hip and right leg, his father, fearing the bloodline, stripped him of his inheritance, giving it to his younger brother. Following after his mother's aptitude for science, he spent his youth and current time researching in his study and laboratory, always trying to find a way to push his body beyond its current limits. In the top center is Ozul Nuer Numino, an ancient being that has been locked away for centuries after a massive betrayal. As if made of pure shadow, he is able to augment his form at will, from giving himself imposing wings to extra limbs in combat. Proud and confident, he adorns himself in gold and silver thread and metals, always making himself the most commanding presence in the room, shifting his height to always be the tallest. Always untrusting, he will don his mask and obscure his form in swirling shadow and darkness. Last but not least, Grand Duke Thuron Dalton, the youngest son of the Dalton estate. Taking advantage of being second born, in his youth he would be aloof, skipping lessons and dragging his brother along. Even though he was considered too carefree in his youth, he destroyed the Tor'glen Academy records for pyromancy at the age of 9. Considered a child genius in the art of fire, it was not until he inherited the title that he quickly learned that his easy life had come to a halt. Now, the Grand Duke of Tor'glen, he hosts lavish parties, entertaining both Zelvian and Brillians alike on neutral terms, benefiting from their imports. These are the main faces you'll see at the start of the story. There are plenty more other fun faces, some that show up later. The title announcement will be no later than the beginning of Quarter 3 or July 1st, 2023. First pages of the graphic novel will launch at the end of the year. Stay tuned for more comic and character updates. Follow if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.